Hi everybody, it's Ellen Weatherford.
And Christian Weatherford.
And this is Just the Zoo of Us, your favorite animal review podcast, where we take your favorite animals and rate them out of 10 in the categories of effectiveness, ingenuity, and aesthetics.
We are not zoological experts, but we try our hardest to bring the best information and most accurate information that we can.
I would like to share an experience I had earlier today in which I, as a new resident of the Pacific Northwest, and this being my first fall and winter season, I've invested in a Happy Light, one of those daylight lamps that blasts your eyes with the furious light of the sun.
Feels just like we're back in Florida.
Well, you know, I'm not used to being in low light conditions for extended periods of time, so I tried it out. I had my first little session with my Happy Light, and I feel like I really get what it feels like to be a lizard now.
Oh, good.
It was a very reptilian experience. I felt like I was really just like basking. Well, because like, you know, when you have like a pet reptile, you usually have to have like a UV light for them to bask in, right?
Yeah.
That's what I felt like.
Well, and then the cat moved in between us and the light, triggering that third Tuatara eye.
What do you call it? The parietal or something like that? It was like something in your brain that gave me a real sort of fight or flight response. It's like, oh no, predator.
It's like, wait a minute, we're the predators.
So I got to experience what it feels like to be a simple reptile basking in the sun, really connecting with my ancient reptilian roots.
Very good.
Yeah, that was fun. And it's my turn to go first this week.
What do you bring us?
This week I'm talking about the Loggerhead Shrike. I'm reading your face for any response whatsoever, and I'm getting nothing.
Bird?
Yes, it is a bird.
Right.
Scientific name is Lanius ludovicianus.
That's fun.
Species was submitted by Jeff either Trares or Trares. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your last name, but Jeff, as well as Brittany Miller. So thank you both. And Brittany also specifically suggested the northern shrike, but did include the Loggerhead Shrike in the request. So I'm putting them together to talk about the Loggerhead Shrike, because the Loggerhead Shrike has a way cooler name. So that's what I want to talk about. I'm getting my information from the Cornell Lab of Ornithology's website, allaboutbirds.org, as well as the American Bird Conservancy and Smithsonian's National Zoo and Conservation Biology Institute.
Wow.
Yeah. So to introduce you to this bird is up to 10 inches long, or 25 centimeters, with a wingspan of up to 13 inches or 33 centimeters. To put that into perspective, that's about the size of a robin or perhaps a cardinal. It's not a big bird, but it's a songbird, basically.
Okay. This is actually a similar proportion to my animal today.
Oh, interesting. We have some similarity. I think we're going to have some overlaps. They are a songbird. They have a squat little body with these tiny, dainty little feet, short wings, and kind of a long tail, like long tail feathers. They're gray with a black banded mask and like a white underbelly. And then their beak is short, but a very noticeable feature you will see when you look at them is that their beak is hooked. It's got this little curved, sharp, pointy hook at the end.
I feel like I have heard of this in one case.
Oh, yeah?
Isn't it Darwin finches that kind of do this kind of thing?
I see what you're talking about. That's not really what I mean. So the Darwin finches, their beaks would have different lengths and widths. So like if they were made for picking up things like really tough shelled like seeds and nuts and things, they would have these shorter beaks that would be more muscular. Right. What I mean is that it's fully like a parrot or a hawk. The end of the beak is like curves around into a pointed hook.
So more extreme.
Yeah. Which is a little bit interesting for a songbird. That's not something you typically see in those little guys. Now, you will find these birds all across the United States and Mexico. During the breeding season, they can be found as far north as Canada. So all over our sort of corner of the world. Their taxonomic family is Laniidae, which are the shrikes, of which there are 34 species found all over the world. Most of what I'm going to be talking about for the Loggerhead Shrike is pretty applicable to most types of shrikes. And shrikes are most closely related to the corvids, like crows and jays.
Okay.
And I think some of the behaviors can be seen, like you can kind of see the resemblance, I think, with their clever and morbid cousins. So to get into the ratings for the Loggerhead Shrike, if this is your first time listening to this podcast, we rate animals. The first category is effectiveness. This is physical adaptations, traits built into their body to let them do the things they're trying to do. I'm going to give the Loggerhead Shrike a 7 out of 10. And I'm verging on 6, which I'm feeling a little harsh about. Like, that feels like a bridge too far, but I'm giving them a 6, but they're like on thin ice about it.
All right.
So, despite their cute little songbird appearance, this bird is a ruthless killer.
Mm-hmm.
They have the nickname Butcher Bird.
Oh, boy.
So, unlike other small birds who may typically go for seeds or small, like invertebrates, bugs, insects, stuff like that, the shrike will hunt and eat. Yes, invertebrates. It will happily eat bugs and insects, but they will go for vertebrates, including lizards, snakes, small mammals, and other birds.
Wow.
Just take them right out. They are, basically, if it is roughly their size or smaller, it's on the menu.
It's rough out here.
Down for whatever. Can you imagine? You're just like enjoying a lovely spring morning and the birds are chirping, and then all of a sudden one of them just murks you out of the air.
Mm-hmm.
They have a few traits in their body that help them do this. First of all, the name loggerhead actually refers to one of their physical adaptations for taking down prey. They have a surprisingly large, bulky head and like a thick neck. So they're very muscular for their size. You can really tell when you look at them that like they're really top heavy. They look like they should just fall right over.
Oh.
It's very I don't know, Arnold Schwarzenegger sort of like giant head.
I see.
So this helps them tank damage from slamming into prey when they dive bomb it from above.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's good like cushioning and like muscular support for like slamming into things at like terminal velocity. Which is good. You don't want to take fall damage when you're doing that. But it also helps them lift things, like if they have to take it away.
Lifting with their beak? Or
Yes.
Okay.
If it's heavier, they'll carry it in their feet, but they do have a good amount of like pulling power with their head because it's so thick. Sick gains. You may be wondering, carry it where? I'll come back to it.
Okay.
They have an important place they have to carry it to. Also, if you really look at their beak, you'll see that just behind that hooked tip of it, you'll see this little notch in the beak. And this is something called the tomial tooth. So the tomium is a word that means the cutting edge of the beak. And this is like a little projection that lets its beak catch on soft tissue and cut through it like a serrated knife. It kind of makes me think of like fish hooks almost, like how a fish hook might have like behind the hook, it might have another sort of like loop on it so that it might catch on the way out or something.
It's like a one serrate.
It's just the one serrate and that's it. But it makes it really good for like slicing through like skin or flesh or muscle or tissue or anything like that.
I don't like that.
It's pretty cool. Now, I did take away some points. They have tiny, dainty little feet. Just the most itty-bitty, teeny feet. They don't really have the power and the talons and the muscle that you need to like take down large prey. So like if you look at a hawk's feet, they're buff, right? Like they're very well equipped for gripping. It's good for like holding things down so that they can pull meat off with their beaks, stuff like that. Not the shrike. So you'd expect to see a bird that's like going up against large prey to have more equipped feet, and they really don't. But don't worry, they make up for that somewhere else that I'll get into in a minute. So I find it interesting that even though this is a bird that does hunt and eat prey, it is not considered a bird of prey.
This sounds like a bird that is difficult to categorize.
It reminds me so much of the grasshopper mouse, how it's something that just like looks so sweet and adorable, but would cut you immediately if given the chance, like would not hesitate to take you down immediately by any means. Like, but yeah, they're not considered a bird of prey, even though they are a bird and they do hunt prey, not a bird of prey,
all right,
which
then
seems unnecessarily gatekeepy to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like hawk software on like songbird hardware. You're on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of bird of prey.
Take a seat. This is unfair.
This is unfair. So moving on to ingenuity, which for us is behavioral adaptations, ways that the animal has figured out how to solve problems that it faces. I'm giving the Loggerhead Shrike a 10 out of 10 for ingenuity.
Really?
They are making up for what I think is maybe the ill-suitedness of their body to what they're trying to do.
Oh, is there a big brain in this big head?
I think that big old noggin is full of ideas and thoughts and feelings. First of all, like peregrine falcons, shrikes dive bomb prey from above, aiming their strike at the nape of the neck. So they're going for that, like, straight to the jugular, right? Like, if they land their hit successfully, they can use that hooked beak and tomial tooth to sever the prey's spinal cord.
Okay.
That's a lot, right? Like, that's crazy. Rendering it paralyzed and unable to fight back. So, little body, maybe not made for tussling, perhaps, right? But if they could get you in one hit, right? You could get the one-hit KO, you're good.
Jurassic Park Velociraptor energy.
It's such a glass cannon. They're like, they get that one good hit in, and then, it's okay that they're little and can't necessarily, tumble as much. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the shrike's feet are small and poorly equipped for gripping large prey. So, to make up for this, they turn to another method. I don't think you know what I'm about to say. What do you think I'm about to say?
My mind immediately went to two shrikes.
That would be good.
One holds and the other does the other stuff.
That would be a good idea. It's impalement.
With what? Exactly.
So they will carry their victim to either thorny vegetation or something spiky. They're known for using barbed wire for this, and skewer their prey on the spike, natural or not.
Wow.
Yeah. Let that marinate in your mind.
Are these found in places with cactuses, perhaps?
Yeah, they could be. Yeah, they could be. But they don't need a cactus. It could just be like a thorny vine or a bush or something.
I was just not enjoying, but admiring the thought of using a cactus for this.
Yeah, I'm sure they would. No hesitation, right?
Yeah.
Like they use anything that's like pointy, even like a twig or a branch or something. So they skewer it and then drag the body down with their beak to like firmly put it in place. Like they'll pull it down so that it's really like rooted on this thorn.
Firmly grasp it.
Yeah, firmly grasp it. So this can serve a variety of delightful functions. First of all, it just holds the body in place so that they can tear meat off with their beak. But it also serves as storage so that the bird can come back for it later. So they just leave it there.
Okay.
And then leave and go get more and come back. And they build up a little reservoir, right? It's called a larder, where they'll have like a pantry, basically, of slain victims.
If I came across this in the woods not knowing about this,
you'd be like, this is a curse. This is surely the work.
Time to leave.
This is cryptid behavior. This is paranormal activity. So when they do this, when they like bank up a bunch of them, that serves as a display for potential mates.
Oh.
So a male that has a bunch of prey skewered on these thorns or barbed wire or whatever, if he brings a female back and says, hey, check out all this cached prey I have, then she'll be like, wow, you are a great hunter and a very viable mate for me. So it could help impress the ladies.
Just showing off the meat locker.
Hey, girl, let's head back to my place. I'll show you my collection of impaled victims. It works every time. But an interesting thing about this strategy is that it also lets shrikes go for poisonous prey. So they're known for using this on things like lubber grasshoppers or monarch butterflies, which are very toxic and you would get sick and die if you just ate it outright. So what they do is they make the kill, bring it back to a thorn, spike them on it, and then leave them there for days. They come back later, and in that time, the toxin in the insect's body has broken down and neutralized.
Oh.
They're not poisonous anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, so they can like let it sit for a couple of days, like getting an avocado at the grocery store, and then you got to come back. I wonder if it's like there's like a 5-minute window of time where they're ripe, where it's like, oh man, now it's mushy. But it's a cool way of letting them like kind of get around the toxic defense of some insects. they're clever little birds.
Yeah.
So like, this is how I feel like this use of your environment as a tool is such corvid behavior, like very on brand with their cousins. I watched this clip on YouTube that was from Nat Geo Wild about them doing this, and they had the goofiest like voiceover narration. They were going like, lizards shriked, snakes shriked. You're doing too much. But it was very funny, and I think it's going to stick in my head for a while. I think next time I see someone just get absolutely KO'd, that's going to be in the back of my head, like shriked.
Just get shriked, silly Billy.
Get shriked. Something very cute about this is that baby shrikes practice impaling by holding objects and pretending to stick them on branches with their beaks.
Precious moments.
Baby's first impalement. So something that's interesting is that I think that their tiny, dainty feet actually help them here because it lets them perch on surfaces that are covered in thorns that other birds with bigger feet would not be able to navigate as easily as they do because they have those tiny little songbird feet. So it's a weakness for them in some ways, but I think in the way that they've gone about negating that weakness, it actually helps them. It's a cool way of turning their disadvantage into an advantage. And then the last thing I want to talk about is that it is not very common, but loggerhead shrikes have been documented engaging in kleptoparasitism, which, as we've mentioned on this show before, is the practice of stealing prey from others. So shrikes like to hunt kind of like hawks, where they perch on high vantage points and just kind of like watch, and they kind of scan the area for anything going on, like something coming out that they might be able to go swoop down on. Sometimes if they spot a smaller bird with a fresh catch, like something like a worm or a beetle larva, something like that, they will chase the bird and harass it until it drops the prey, and then the shrike goes and gets the prey and flies off with it. So like, if you are that little bird, that shrike might be trying to eat you. Like, it could be coming for you. So drop your prey, right? It's going to go for that to save your own life, right? Like, this thing has to be like a bird Slender Man. Like, you see it coming after you, you got to do whatever is in your power to get that thing off your tail. This thing is terrifying. I'm so glad I'm bigger than 2 feet tall.
Yeah.
And finally, for aesthetics for the loggerhead shrike, I'm giving them a 6 out of 10. They are decently cute as far as birds go, but that bar is pretty high.
I might have missed it, but what is their coloration?
Grayscale. Totally grayscale.
Interesting.
Just gray, black. They have these black little bandit bands that I think is pretty cute. And then white on the bottom. And then they have like black bands on their wings. They're actually really commonly mistaken for mockingbirds. They have the same sort of like white band on the wings.
Right.
Which makes me think that maybe I've seen shrikes before and mistook them for mockingbirds. They also apparently make a very similar sound. Like their calls are very similar and they are like visually similar. So I just like, we've seen better from songbirds. Some of them are so cute and so colorful. And so, like, I feel like we could be doing more, especially like they could be leaning into the edgy assassin look, like they've got the bandit mask, but like, give me more.
I mean, they got some good contrast potential with being covered in blood. I mean, the only way they could improve it is just being, Snow White, the whole over,
I would like to see some sort of like, I don't know, something to indicate how like ruthless and brutal they are. That would be cool.
A face tattoo.
Yeah, that's the way. What would it say?
Thunder striked.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that. So, although this species is not necessarily listed as endangered, they are on the decline. They're on a pretty steep decline, actually. Many of their subspecies are locally endangered, like the eastern loggerhead shrike, but populations all over the country are decreasing, and it's not yet fully understood why loggerhead shrike populations are declining all over the country. One popular idea is that the loss of native grasslands to things like development and agriculture and just like invasive grasses and things like that is providing less habitat for shrikes and also for the things that they hunt. Because they rely on these open grasslands with little
Right.
things for them to hunt that they can see, but also that grassland has to be surrounded by vantage points. Like, they need a little bit of both, right? They need the open field and tall trees and things
Yeah.
where they can get up to get the height to get their point of view, but also for like getting speed, right? When they're diving on things. So the loss of native grasslands is difficult for them because they rely on them for that.
Yeah, that's been a big problem from what I understand in the United States particularly. It's
Yeah.
just the loss of those kind of grasslands.
Right, because we're seeing a lot of like invasive grasses that are taking over, and but also people just clearing land away and like converting it to agricultural use or things like
Or
that.
even, I've seen a lot of people do some work around trying to restore those in their local areas.
Right.
But it seems like a lot of city planners would rather, a mowed area of ground that's not used for anything versus an actual, native grass meadow.
But it's so ugly, just like rolling hills of nothingness.
Yeah.
It's so ugly. Like, let it grow.
Mhm.
Just let your meadows be meadows. Now, organizations like the American Bird Conservancy have done a lot of good work in changing policies and establishing protective measures to protect loggerhead shrikes and restore their habitats. And the Smithsonian Conservation Biology Institute has been operating a breeding and reintroduction program that, as of an article that I found that was published in November of 2021, they said they had released over 1,300 shrikes into the wild.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's some hope for them. This is a bird that reproduces pretty rapidly, like short time span in between generations, having quite a few offspring at a time. There's hope for them, right? Like, if we can kind of address what's going on, then they could bounce back pretty easily. We just have to give them the means to do so.
Yeah.
So there's hope for them and all the other creatures that live in their domain of terror, I suppose. Now, I did want to talk a little bit about why I felt so motivated to talk about the loggerhead shrike this week, because, we had gotten this request for it, and it was definitely something that was on my radar. But there are two songs specifically that I'd like to mention. One of them is a hosier, perhaps Hosier. I don't actually know how to pronounce this man's name. I'm sorry to this man, but you know who he is, the forest man. The song is called Shrike, and it includes the line, quote, "Remember me, love, when I'm reborn, as the shrike to your sharp and glorious thorn."
Oh.
Yeah. So a reference to the impalement behavior,
Yes.
which is pretty cool. And the whole song is just dripping with bird references and stuff. But also, recently, within the last 2 weeks or so, I have found on TikTok, through just popping up on my For You page, this artist that performs under the name Sparkbird and makes these songs that are really, really beautiful, with this sort of lush instrumentation, very orchestral sounding. For people that like things like Cosmos Sheldrake, it's very that sort of energy. And Sparkbird, they have a song called November that has been all over my For You page, but I will play a clip for your enjoyment now.
Door, one small sound, one small bite, one tomial tooth, one loggerhead shrike, muscular mind, vertebrate, doppelganger on barbed wire in a parallel universe. My tongue parallelly bleeds, one small drop in a month full of blood, and tongues all over the world.
Very cool lyrics, direct references to loggerhead shrikes and
Yes.
their impalement tendencies. It's a beautiful song, so I recommend that anyone who is into that sort of music definitely go look it up. And look up more music by Sparkbird. Sparkbird currently has less than 10,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, so this, I feel is a golden opportunity to get in super early on the ground floor. You know what I mean? Get in now and then be I liked Sparkbird way back when, you can really be in that entry level fan.
Yeah, totally.
This is investing in later bragging rights.
Stonks.
But that song has been stuck in my head like crazy. It is a really beautiful song that I really enjoyed, and it made me feel really motivated to learn more about the loggerhead shrike, which is such a cool way of, I guess, inspiring passion for nature through music, right?
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh man, this lyric is awesome. This lyric rips. I love this. And then wanted to learn more about the bird. So I hope that other people have that experience too. And that's the Loggerhead Shrike.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Let's take a quick break to hear from our friends on the Max Fun Network, and then we'll get to your animal.
Folks, we get it. Keeping up with an actual play podcast in this economy is a tough sell. That's why we have great news for you. The Adventure Zone is changing up its format. We're going to be doing some shorter seasons, more experimental stuff. There's never been a better time to get on board the zone.
And if you're sick of listening to our voices, we get that too. So we're including some guests. On this upcoming one, we've got Kate Welch and Gabe Hicks, who are incredible.
And you want us to try out some new games? You got it. We've got the new Marvel Multiverse RPG. We're using that, and with a really brilliant GM doing it.
It's Dad. What he's saying is it's Dad.
Dad's doing it.
It's Dad doing it.
You can listen every Thursday on MaximumFun.org or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm glad you said that because nobody says that.
Can I just say thank you to you for such a thoughtful interview?
Oh my God, yeah, I think you nailed it.
Bullseye. Interviews with creators you love and creators you need to know. Listen to the Bullseye podcast only from NPR and Maximum Fun.
So, Christian, what animal do you have for us this week?
This week, I'm talking about the 5-lined skink.
I'm so excited for this.
Yes.
I love these little guys.
Yes, also known as the blue-tailed skink. Scientific name, Plastiodon fasciatus, which roughly translates to toothy striped.
Toothy striped. That is two things that they are.
This species was submitted by Naomi Mulligan. Thank you, Naomi.
Thank you, Naomi.
And I'll be getting my information from Animal Diversity Web primarily, along with some other things I'll cite along the way. For those unfamiliar, a skink is a type of lizard.
They're so cute.
Yes.
They're so good.
Something that kind of separates them from other lizards, they usually have pretty short legs.
They do.
They're kind of squat.
Stumpy.
They have long tails usually, and the neck isn't all that pronounced usually. So like the separation between body and head is not so defined.
It's just no neck whatsoever. Just goes straight from head into chest. It's very good.
So these guys, they range from 12.7 to 21.6 centimeters long, or 5 to 8.5 inches. That is including their tail, which is significant.
Right, yeah. It's like most of what you're looking at when you're looking at this lizard.
Yeah. When they're younger, they have a striking blue tail that kind of fades in color as they get older.
I didn't know that because I have seen these lizards so often, but that striking feature is so noticeable that, like, I guess I just assumed they were all just like that.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what it is about that. Maybe they're more common to see when they're young. I don't know.
Or maybe I just don't notice them when they don't have that bright blue tail.
Maybe. They have a darker color, like background color, brown or black. And then, as their name suggests, they have 5 lines or stripes that run the length of their body. 1 down the center and then 2 on either side. And it's actually referring to those lines that are white. Which, when I was thinking of them, I was imagining them, I guess, in the negative space.
Oh, I see what you mean. Well, are they white with black stripes or black with white stripes?
The white stripes are much smaller than the rest of it, so I guess that would be one way to go about it.
Yeah, I didn't even know they had white stripes. These are like, you don't really notice them, I guess.
Yeah.
Very skunk-like. In stripe pattern.
Oh, I
of
see.
The stripes that like run down the body rather than like across it.
Yeah. Where you can find them is a large part of the eastern and central United States. Where we used to live in Florida was actually very close to its southernmost range.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So they're not in like the southern half of Florida.
We just got lucky.
Yeah.
We're in that nice little sweet spot for them.
And what's weird is looking at their range, like on a map, there's a scoop of eastern Florida where they're not in, like, it's around like St. Augustine and down to Daytona. That for some reason that there's like a little dip in their territory.
They don't like the touristy stuff.
Yeah.
It's the traffic. It's overpriced.
They prefer moist but not wet areas with lots of options for hiding and basking.
That's 2 things lizards like to do.
Yes.
That's the lizard lifestyle.
So maybe that's why they steer clear of southern Florida, because it's just too wet.
Oh, that's true.
They belong to the taxonomic family Cincidae, which are the skinks. A notable relative there is the blue-tongued lizard.
Are you talking about the blue-tongued skink?
Yes.
So I'll tell you something kind of funny about the blue-tongued skink. They're very commonly kept as pets.
Yes.
And a lot of times for a shorthand, people will refer to blue-tongued skinks with just the abbreviation BTS when they're talking about this lizard. Because blue-tongued skink, it's quicker to write. You don't want to write out blue-tongued skink every single time.
Okay.
BTS is also a K-pop band, a very, very popular K-pop band.
Okay.
But when that band got very popular, I did not know that at first.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, why is everyone talking about blue-tongued skinks right now? I was so confused because this was like around the time when I worked in at a pet store, right? So we talked about pet reptile keeping, and I was like, I did not expect all of these people on my Facebook to be talking about blue-tongued skinks. It was BTS memes.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. So moving into our first category of effectiveness, I'm giving a 9 out of 10.
Wow.
Yes.
That's good.
And almost all of it is because of the ability to purposely remove their tails.
And this is objectively a very funny thing to me. That they have a whole part of their body that they just could do without.
And this is definitely not something specific to this species. It's fairly common in lizards in general, and other animals too, actually.
But it's especially noticeable in this one.
Yeah. So they will drop some or all of its tail to distract a predator as it escapes. And that's interesting because the tail, when they're younger, is very brightly colored. And also when it disconnects, it's also still moving and wriggling around.
Now, this is creepy.
Yes.
If you're not used to seeing this, it's horrifying. It's very body horror because the tail drops off and it just it's flailing and these erratic movements. It's terrifying if you don't know what you're looking at.
And the technical name for this is called caudal autotomy.
Oh, caudal meaning like the tail.
Yes, and autotomy meaning to self-sever.
Self-sever.
This is funny because very recently I saw a TikTok, or maybe it was a Reddit post, of someone that took a short video of a wriggling blue tail in like a garden. Like, hey, what is this?
Oh, it was just the tail.
Yeah.
And that's funny.
And someone was like, oh, that was from a 5-line skink that dropped its tail to distract a predator. And it looks like it worked. Because the skink was nowhere to be seen in this video.
Right. Although it would be bad if the skink was gone because the predator got the skink and left the tail behind.
I think the implication was the human startled it.
Oh, I see.
The human
the human is the predator. Yeah.
So much so they didn't even see the skink that dropped it.
That's true. I haven't seen them drop their tail, but I have seen this happen on our back porch in Florida. And this is something that skinks and other lizards that can drop their tail, something that they'll do is that if they know a predator is looking at them, and they know a predator is like stalking them and maybe going to go for them, they will intentionally wiggle their tail in a very like methodical S-shaped movement. It's not their typical like flicking back and forth. It's like they'll do a very sort of deliberate S-shaped swish back and forth to like draw the predator's attention to the tail so that then when they pounce, they'll go for the tail and then they can just drop it and leave it behind and run away. So they like preemptively draw attention away from the rest of their body. And I saw it happen because our cat was looking out the glass door at a 5-line skink that was basking, because you remember how our porch was like riddled with them in the summertime. These things would be everywhere. We would have like multiple of them on our porch at a time. And one of them was basking in the sun and our cat was watching through the door and it was just like luring the cat with this tail, like swishing back and forth. I have a video of it because it was crazy. The cat was so mad. He was doing his little
so I couldn't find it specifically for this species, but lizards usually have one of two ways of disconnecting the tail, to where they have like a breaking point in a specific vertebra for the tail to disconnect, or it's designed to break off between the vertebra. Some even will have like a sphincter muscle that tightens, that does that break.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
and also constricts like to stop the bleeding.
Oh, that's smart. That's a good idea, because I guess that is just lopping off an entire part of your body,
Yeah.
right? You'd have to not be then leaving because that would defeat the purpose if you're leaving a blood trail behind you.
Yeah.
I like that they have a little perforated, like tear away, like school notebook paper.
Right. One study suggests this species' max sprint speed is negatively affected after losing its tail.
What does that mean, negatively affected?
It means it doesn't move as fast.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Which,
Huh.
well, I think the idea behind the study was, you would think that sometimes it would benefit, right? Because
Right.
it's less weight to move.
Go faster, yeah.
And typically the tail isn't directly involved with locomotion, but not so in most.
You know what it
most of
is? When they drop their tail, they lose their racing stripes, and then they don't go as fast.
No. Some thoughts around that could be like it's maybe balance related.
Oh, that's true, because their body is sort of noodly shaped, and when they're running, they're doing a lot of side to side, sort of swinging around.
Right.
I could see how that would mess with it.
Or it could be stress hormone related.
Oh, yeah. That is not fun.
Yeah. And that was from the paper Tail Autonomy, Tail Size, and Locomotor Performance in Lizards by McElroy Bergman in 2013.
Nice.
According to the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation...
My mutuals. If you don't follow the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife on like every social media, the person who runs it, I'm mutuals with her. She's so funny. They're like social media icons. Continue, please.
Sure. This species can regrow its tail.
Oh, good. Phew.
Yes, which is not the case in all things that can, drop a tail.
Right.
It's more likely to fall off when they're younger, and it is initiated by the skink. This is not a case where it has to be pulled off by like a predator or something. So this is something that the skink does itself.
Yeah, I can quit my tail anytime I want.
Yeah. And the tail is used to store fat energy, so there is a cost to losing it.
Oh, we see this in other like geckos. I know
Yes,
store a lot
sure.
of fat in their tails.
Yep. And that cost becomes more and more costly the older they get, especially for females that are laying eggs, because a lot of that energy goes into producing eggs.
Yeah, you do need a fat storage when you're making more of you.
Yes.
But then the big ones, like we've seen some of the big like adult ones, and they get real chunky.
Yeah, yeah. And their colors kind of fade as they get older, so they might
more
be
mature, more subdued.
Now, it's worth noting that in most of the United States, the term blue-tailed skink or blue-tailed lizard refers to this species. However, there are pockets where there is a related skink that is invasive from Africa.
Really?
Yes.
Do they also have blue tails?
They do. And they're I think it was in Florida and I think California.
Stole their look and their home range. This is incredible.
Usually this is the species people are talking about in North America.
I see.
But it could be something else
Interesting.
in some places.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm going to read just quote from another paper because I found it so interesting. When regeneration of the tail occurs in lepidosaurs, which are lizards and close relatives,
Yeah.
it consistently produces a regenerated tail that is distinctly different from the original.
Whoa.
Most notably, the regenerated tail has a continuous cartilaginous rod at its center rather than an articulated column composed of vertebrae.
Whoa. That's completely different.
Yes. So it doesn't regrow the bone back. It regrows just a cartilage rod to kind of...
Like a rigid
Yeah.
sort of structure.
Mhm.
That's really interesting because I guess that maybe implies that they don't need that articulated structure anymore as badly, or maybe they just can't make it anymore.
Maybe, yeah. So I guess with that kind of setup, they at least have the balance, right, that the tail offers. But if there's any other kind of more advanced use of it, they would probably lose it.
Yeah, that behavior I was describing of curling the tail back and forth in this sort of like S shape would rely on like articulation of the tail.
Yes.
So
Yep.
I guess they wouldn't be able to do that anymore if they'd already dropped their tail once. That's really interesting though, that like it grows back different.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Weird.
It also visibly will look different in many lizards. Like you can see where the point is that it had dropped a tail and regrown another one. And that was from a paper titled Evolutionary Loss of Animal Regeneration, Pattern and Process by Bealey, and was in Integrative and Comparative Biology in 2010.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Thank you. That's neat.
It is. There's a lot more to that paper. It wasn't just about lizards. There's lots of other animals that do this too. It's pretty interesting. Some of the things about their effectiveness, they're fast.
They are fast.
They go fast.
They go so fast.
And they do have a mouthful of teeth that they will use to bite.
Toothy stripe? Toothy stripes.
So I thought that was all very interesting.
Yeah, anyone who's ever tried to catch lizards out in Florida will tell you those suckers are fast.
Some, I'm going to keep coming back to the tail dropping thing, but the tails can be so important for energy storage that a lizard that drops its tail, runs away, might come back to see if the tail is still there, and then we'll eat it.
What?
To get that energy back.
Mortifying! That's disgusting! I want them to not do that. They have to stop. I'm going to camp out next to a dropped tail with a little spray bottle. If he comes back, I'm going to be like, hey, cut it out. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. That's all jokes. Good for them.
Yes.
I'm glad. No. Reduce, reuse, recycle, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
No food waste here.
Moving on to ingenuity, I'm just giving them a 6 out of 10, which is mostly around some interesting parenting things they do.
Really?
I thought. So to keep the eggs warm after they're hatched, females will bask in the sun, then return to the nest to transfer the body heat to the eggs.
Oh, she's bringing the warmth from the sun to her children. Oh, bless her.
I thought that was nice.
That is so sweet.
And they will also do communal nests, such that the eggs are always protected, but, the mother lizards are able to kind of cycle out so that they can go eat and such.
That is a very surprising amount of, cooperation for reptiles, which are not known for sort of communal-based lifestyles.
Yeah.
They will typically turn on each other at the drop of a hat.
They are very territorial outside of children and mating. So, yes.
I suppose they have boundaries, maybe. That's very interesting. I've never heard of a reptile doing that.
Yeah. And then aesthetics, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It's a nice little lizard. The blue is, not all that common in nature, I feel like.
I feel like, as a human with human eyesight, very easy to see.
Right.
You could pick them out instantly.
Well, back to that thing you were talking about, trying to lure predator attacks to the tail. The color is part of that. Because only the tail is that color, and it's the very tip. So it's really kind of forcing the attention of a predator towards that tail.
That would probably work especially well with a predator that's looking for something metallic blue, like a lot of insects tend to be that metallic blue color. So something that's looking for something like a sweat bee, like a bird that might eat like a sweat bee or something, might be looking for that metallic blue color and be distracted by the metallic blue tail.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it is striking. It is gorgeous. The tail is so pretty. With the high contrasting stripes too. It's a really pretty lizard.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you only gave him a 6.
7.
I'm surprised you only gave him a 7.
The neck, I think, makes him look goofy to me.
Hater.
It's goofy in an endearing way. I'll give him that.
Is. Kind of like Toothless the dragon.
Sure.
A little bit. They have those sort of round features.
Yeah. So just kind of wrapping it up, their conservation status is of least concern per the IUCN.
No, they're fine.
Yeah, they're doing great. They can sometimes have problems with very localized extinction. Like if they have a pocket of their population that gets affected by something.
Sure.
They can be locally extinct, but globally, they're doing great.
I remember that one year, I think the first year that we lived in our house, we had so many skinks on the back porch. There was 5 or 6 of them. You remember they lived up in those columns on the back porch, and they would come out. And then if anyone went outside, they'd all skitter away. But it was the first year they were everywhere, and then none after that. I wonder what that was all about.
I don't know.
But I remember us noticing it. We noticed, we were like, hey, where's our little guys?
Yeah.
Our little guys are gone.
Well, now I think about it, I think a lot of our reptile observations declined as the years went on there.
Yeah.
Because we had lots of snakes at first, too.
We did, yeah. Maybe the neighborhood filled out a little bit with people.
Yeah.
People don't take too kindly to our scaly friends.
Yeah. My last little thing here. They do very often host the common chigger.
The what? I've never heard of this in my life.
It is a small mite.
Oh.
So related to spiders and ticks and things.
Okay.
That particular one will bite humans. So maybe keep that in mind before you pick them up.
You know what? I've heard of this on the bug spray bottles. The bug spray bottles will say...
It's like towards the end of the things that they protect.
They'll say mosquitoes, ticks, and chiggers, right? They'll say it on there. Yeah. But skinks carry them?
Yes, they're very commonly a host for them.
Sounds like a them problem. So good reason for you not to be trying to run these things down and chase them and pick them up.
Right after, maybe forcing them to lose a tail.
No, that's not nice. Did you ever do that thing that kids would do where you catch lizards and put them on your fingers?
Put what on my fingers?
Lizards.
Just hold? Do you mean just hold the lizard?
No, like you catch the lizard and then they bite your finger and then you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about, but no, I've never done that.
Oh, well.
I was a good boy.
Was. Oh, my lawful good husband.
Now I channel the darkness into Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's where the dark urge is coming from. That's your backstory. I see. You play a lizard boy in your dark urge.
I do.
You're lizardy boy.
So that is the 5-line skink.
Thank you so much. That was so wonderful. I'm glad I get to understand my little friends a little bit better. Mm-hmm. I always look for them out in the summers and stuff. They're so nice to find.
Yep. Not here, though.
Not anymore, but but we will be, visiting family and stuff in Florida. And so when we're there, we'll be there in the winter, so we probably won't see them.
Yeah.
I'll be reunited with them once more someday, I'm sure. Thank you, Christian. That was great. And thank you, dear listener, for spending this time with us. It means a lot to us, and we really appreciate you being here with us. If you liked what you heard today, you can leave behind a good review for us on your podcast app of choice. It's been a while since I dove into our podcast reviews, but I did want to put a quick little spotlight on some of our nice reviews recently, because I like them and they make me happy. One person boldly said, "Move over, ologies," which is very, very sweet. That was from Pest 111111.
Good job.
Thanks. They also said Ellen has an excellent radio voice.
Ellen does.
Wow. Thanks. And also, T-Bird Callie said that this is the perfect show for zoo adults, like Disney adults, but the zoo.
Very good.
Which is great. That's very good. I like that categorization of adult, because I am that adult who goes to the zoo by themselves.
Sometimes you can get both.
Yeah, you can. Listen, mouse ears, they work. You could be Mickey Mouse or just a regular mouse. And Becky Yuma said 20 out of 10. Said, I honestly wish the show updated daily. That's how addicted I now am. Ellen and Christian are so charming, I could just burst.
Aw.
I know. I love that. That's so sweet. I appreciate that. Thank you all for your kind words.
Yes, thank you.
And if you want to hang out with us on social media, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Discord, TikTok. Links to everything will be in the show description. We'd like to thank Maximum Fun for having us on their network. So if you want to learn more about the network, the other shows that are on there, they got a new show recently. It is called Secret Histories of Nerd Mysteries. I was listening to it a good bit while I was driving downtown earlier today, and it's a really fun show to listen to. I listened to their episode about Neopets.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
It was very validating of my personal experience as a child. Enjoyed that a lot. So go over to MaximumFun.org to learn more about the network and the shows and how you can be part of supporting our show. And finally, we'd like to thank Louis Zong for our theme music. That's all.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned. Audience supported.